That night, I had picked her from school as usual, dropped her home. She asked me, "Daddy, are you guys going?" I said yes, and we went out with Jennifer somewhere. Came back home, saw her, had dinner, kissed her on the cheek, told her good night. But it was a long kiss good night, because she has slept. I must talk to parents and say that there is an illness that we are now dealing with that didn't exist in our time, and it's called mental health. And it is a real silent killer. It is there in our lives. So, can we as parents, I want to put that challenge out there, can we as parents now start to take time to be very deliberate to understand what mental health is all about? Unfortunately, many of our generation think that mental health means you're a Mogoroki and you should be in Madare. But that's not what it is. It is deep-seated emotional conflict that is going on in somebody's heart and in somebody's mind. Nairobi Chapel are very blessed to have a pastor, Jemo, I don't see him today, who has battled with mental health challenges for many, many, many years. And he told me that we should not look at this in the negative. And what we need to be doing is commending Jerry for the strength that she had. And he illustrated it this way. That imagine you have a battle, a war raging inside your soul every day of your life. Okay? And every day you go to sleep and wake up, you have won that battle. And if a person has gone through 1,000 days of that battle, and they've done 999 days successfully, they only lost 1 day of that battle. It's just unfortunate that battle, losing that battle means, more often than not, that the person has rested. So it's a real challenge. And we need to start being more aware and more clear about how we're going to deal with such things. It's a real challenge. And as the church, please open youth ministries that will begin to deal with the issues of health, of mental health, especially among these young children. Jerry had interestingly become a crusader for good mental health. I can't tell you the countless times she would send me documents and pamphlets and leaflets to print so that she could take to a friend in school who was dealing with such issues. Many times she ran to her friends who were dealing with such issues, and she comforted them and she helped carry them. With many of the children, some of whom are even here today, they are witness to that. And I was so proud of the fact that she was willing to put herself out to help her colleagues and her friends. So, and in her savior complex, there was a time a friend of hers was going through a rough time, a very rough time. We were at home at night, just doing the things that we do at home at night. And then suddenly I heard the door slam, boom, boom, the gate open, and somebody had left. I asked, who's left the house? I was told, Jerry has left, she's gone. Gone where? She's gone to her friend's place. At night, she called an Uber, got into the car, and took off. And I asked, why has she gone? She said, because my friend is in trouble. She needs me. She needs help. How do you argue with someone who does things like that? At 17, she was not afraid to step out in the middle of the night to go and help her friend who was in need. We always said that her greatest challenge is that she has a savior complex. And people with a savior complex are willing to put themselves in harm's way just to help somebody else, just to help their friends. And it's amazing that she exemplified this in ways that I have never, even me myself, I have never been able to do. And we must recognize, congratulate her for it, and give her her blessing for it. I think she has saved the lives of many of her peers. So guys, please, mental health is a real thing, and we need to be able to deal with it. The other appeal to parents, and the kids alike, is about the third parent, or that quiet voice that we all now have. We never used to have it, but that we now all have in our homes. And that is called the internet. And we have children interacting with the internet and consuming information in volumes that when I was growing up did not exist. For us, we could only read one book at a time, one magazine at a time. But now you have these kids interacting with all sorts of social media sites where there are all sorts of people. In these Discord forums, in these Reddit forums, in these Quora forums, where you're collecting opinions and thoughts from all sorts of people from all across the world. None of us know how to police the internet that is in our house. And unfortunately, because of the love we have for our children, we've given all of them a gadget that they have in their pockets and becomes personal to them. And it is through that gadget that this information is being consumed. The only thing that we can truly try and do is implore our children to be careful about the voices that they're allowing into their heads. Because those voices are triggers to do things that are not good. And we must recognize and be very clear and start to understand and find ways to deal with those triggers. And for people dealing with those mental health challenges, all it takes is just that little trigger to push somebody over the edge. And unfortunately, as parents, it's so difficult for us to identify because we don't know what these triggers are. And teenagers, please learn to start to talk to your parents. Challenge them. And if your parents respond to you in a way that you find undesirable or that you consider is outdated or not good, just tell them. Be free to tell them, Dad, I didn't like what you said about this and the other. Because that way, at least the parents now have the opportunity to go there and do their research and find ways to deal with whatever it is that you're struggling with. And your parents love you with their lives. There is nothing you can do that would make your parents dislike you or hate you. They may be angry, but they don't hate you. And schools, you Rusinga kids, please, your parents love you deeply. Always understand that and never be afraid to speak to them about anything, any topic, any subject. And parents, be brave enough to be willing to listen to the troubling things that you're going to hear from your children, and learn not to react, but to listen, calmly digest the information you're receiving, and if you don't know, find a way to talk to your child about the matters that are before them. The voices are many, and I'll keep saying this. I said it to you kids on Friday. God speaks in a still small voice. Opposing voices are loud, and there are many. And those opposing voices are found on the internet, I tell you that. But listen to God's still small voice. It whispers. That is the voice to listen to. Not the other chaos that is around you. Always listen to the still small voice, because it will lead you the right way. I feel peace and comfort that she is in eternity, that she is in paradise with her Father. That gives me so much comfort and joy. But I feel a deep, deep-seated heartbreak and pain that I will not have her for the rest of my life. Now that's what really, really, really hurts. I wanted to see her grow. I used to tell her, Jerry, I will only allow you to leave this house when you're walking on kangas, exiting through the gate. It didn't get to happen. But nonetheless, she gave us a wonderful life. Now,